And we are live for a new episode on female solopreneurs growing their business with my fellow Brazilian bombshell, Camilla Sunshine. Welcome. Oh my God. It's so exciting to be with a fellow Brazilian, even though I'm half German too. But it's so nice to do this with you. I know we've been following each other on social media for quite some time, but I'm so excited to do it today and to ask you all the questions about your past, your background, and how you got into what you're doing. But specifically today, it's all about Inside Timer and how to use that platform. If you are a healer, a spiritual coach, a meditation teacher, or any kind of life coach, this is the perfect platform for you, from what I've gathered from Camilla, to establish an audience. And you don't even have to niche down. It just sounds so good. And you can make passive income. So I'm just all over this platform right now. And I'm just so excited to ask Camilla all the questions, how to establish ourselves on that platform and how to make a passive income and have fun on the platform. So Camilla, welcome.
Totally. Yeah. So good to be here. As you said, like we know each other from the online space.
Yeah.
But even though it's the first time we actually seeing each other here, but I feel like I know you so well and we have connected so well. So this is really exciting.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing this. And I mean, we've been chatting back and forth on Facebook, and I know we have a very similar background in that we both studied and then we went off, did the corporate thing. Like I was in a marketing company called Procter and Gamble, and you did more the financial world. And we were in what were you doing?
IT.
Banking?
Yeah, IT for the
Oh,
financial, yeah, in the finance industry. Yes.
wow. And where were you based?
I was, yeah. So, well, I was born in São Paulo,
Mm-hmm.
Brazil, right? And yeah, I've always was always curious about computers and how it works. And, like you can conquer the world if you know computers. So I was always curious. My mom worked also in a bank. She worked at
Oh,
Citibank for many
right.
years, and I used to go there. And at the time, we didn't have, computers at home. So going to like Citibank where she used to work and seeing all those big computers, I was like in heaven. I was like, oh my God. And there was games.
That's so great.
All her work colleagues would, set up games for me to play. And it's like screen, black and green, like old times. So I had this opportunity fall into my lap and it flowed that way, right? For me to work in the corporate. I know that I've always been intuitive. Like now I know. When I was,
Mm-hmm.
of course, when I was a kid, I did not know
Mm-hmm.
that. But I had this, big openness and exploration as a child. I know I used to think differently already. But life took me in the corporate. It needed to be that way. And I loved what
Mm-hmm.
I did.
So your corporate started in São Paulo in Brazil?
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Wow. So
Yeah.
may I ask, like, how did you end up in Australia? How did that happen?
Mhm. So after, like, I was in this career for 10 years and I started feeling something off, when
Mm.
we hear, I loved it for 10 years. I really, really loved it. And, but after a while, after 10 years, I started like, something started arising inside of me to explore something different. And I had a moment of asking myself the question internally, intuitively. I remember I was sitting, so it was São Paulo, the biggest is like the biggest financial center, right? Is the
Mhm.
Avenida Paulista. And that's where I used to work. So I was my desk used to be overlooking, looking at through the window. So it was like in front of the window, and I was gazing outside and asking myself this question. It was a little bit like a meditation. I should probably be working at the time, but I was looking through the window and asking myself, Camilla, would you do this? Can you do this for another 5 years?
Wow.
And I was not a coach at the time. Like, it was something intuitive that arose inside of me, right? This other voice, this wisdom voice. I do not know what sort of voice it was actually that, but asked me the question, and my whole body, my whole being was like, no.
Yeah, I know that. I know that feeling.
No. So from that moment, I knew I needed to change. I did not know how. I always felt the desire to travel. You're a traveler too. So probably that feeling, right? Like, there's
Totally.
pull to travel and explore. So 2006, I decided to go to Canada for studying English for a month. But when I was about to go to Canada, I saw Australia on the agent. They had a banner, and I was, the banner was showing like Sydney, the Harbor Bridge, and the beaches, and I was like,
nice. A bit warmer than Canada.
a little bit warm. Although I went in summer, I could not do it winter. And I could not do for 3 months in Canada because, it would have to be, I don't know, June, July, and August. So it's just the warm. I'm not like you, I see your frozen
Wintry
photos
Sweden. Yeah.
from Sweden. Like, oh, I don't know how she can do it. Anyway, yeah. So I saw the banner, and I was like, I was pulled towards that. And I was like, I asked the agent, like, oh, instead of going to Canada, can I go to Australia instead? Like, can I change it?
Wow.
Yes. So my research started there, and they said, oh, it's good if you, instead of a month, that you can go for 3 months because it's so far away. You're going to fly for this many hours, and it's good that you can stay longer. So that stayed in my mind. So when I came back, I started looking for jobs, and I was looking for jobs in IT. And I could see that Australia, like, they paid so well. So my whole ambition, I've always been an ambitious person. In terms of growth, in many ways, like professional growth as a person, but also financially. And yeah, I was like, okay, I made a decision. I'm going to Australia, and I'm going to work in IT. I mean, I knew when I then decided to come, there was a whole plan to come to Australia. I like it just yeah, happened. It just
Amazing.
happened.
I
Like,
love it.
everything really flowed for me then to to be here.
Yeah.
It was not, yeah, it was a big decision.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I ended up here.
Beautiful story. I love the synchronicity of you ending up in the travel agent and just seeing this whole other picture instead of Canada, and just be spontaneous about it and say, oh, how about I go there, and just follow intuition, right? I love it. I know you started locally. I know you did massage therapy. I know you did kinesiology. Was that the real start, or like, did you do a massage course and then you became a massage therapist? Tell us a bit about your background when you started your business.
Yes. So I knew I wanted to travel to, and I knew I had to get in touch with things like energetic. I did not know exactly what it was, but my inquiry was, I knew a little bit about Reiki. I knew a little bit about massage and the physical, right? My inquiry was, what is in between both? What is in between the Reiki, the energy, and what is between the physical? How they interact, how one affect each other. There were no answers, but that was the reason why I came to Australia, and I started looking for the answer. So I started searching, That's when I found kinesiology.
Mm.
Never heard of kinesiology before. It's not a big thing in Brazil. But there was this course, and I was so pulled into it. I went for a 2-day demo of what kinesiology is, and I was hooked because you could really see the effect of something so simply energetically done and how it changes posture and like we could see everything happening. I could see changes happening right before my eyes. And I was like, yes, I want to study this. I
Mm.
want to study this. So that's, I did a whole 2 years. It was a very comprehensive course.
Mm.
Like we go into so much like anatomy, physiology, homeopathy, like
Wow.
there's right. We learn about the chakras. It's called holistic kinesiology. We
Mm.
learn about the acupuncture system. So it's a real in depth, brain function and like real health conditions like that we learn how to navigate.
Love.
See. So I was really hooked. I really loved this course. Every time I had to go to class, I was like, yes. And so and started doing like massages. And with the massages, I started weaving like the energetic, like the kinesiology, weaving with massage and then I did my Reiki attunements and I was bringing that together as well. And that's what I did for I think it was now over 10 years, but
Right.
back then was like 5 years or so working
Yes.
in
And
yeah,
then both of us heard the calling for more travels and have an online business, and we went for it, didn't we?
oh my God. That's the what it felt hard. Like the online business I thought was just like, hey, now my business from, first of all, the challenge of like, I'm a massage therapist. How am I going to do massage online?
Energetic massage.
I tried during the
Mm.
pandemic. I, I played a little bit with that concept. Of course, touch is touch,
Mhm.
but I played with that concept a bit and I offered some classes of, teaching people how to massage themselves and
Mm.
stretching and like meditation while they are stretching and so that was good. That was popular during the
Mm.
pandemic. And but yeah, and I was putting the healing out there in terms of like at the time I was exploring this niche. Like this drives me nuts. I don't want a niche. I am a rebel. I don't if I can help, if I can help everyone, why do I need to say that I help this small group of people? Why do I need to? We're meant to be holistic. Why do we need
Mhm.
to say this? It used to drive me nuts. I don't know you. You want to
Yeah,
say
I
something
would.
about?
For me, it's the same. I started off as a Reiki teacher and I was just doing the course for everybody. I didn't niche at all when I was local. It was just once you get the business coaches in and do all the courses, it's always like this prerequisite of, oh, you have to niche down. And I was like, what? So I managed to niche down to women, which is already excludes 50%. But yeah, I think I've never been as niched as now with, female solopreneurs, which is one niche that I serve, but I still serve other people too. So I have like separate niches, I would say. But it does drive me nuts, to be honest. It's difficult.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is difficult, and to find our message. That exercise is a forever exercise of clarifying the message. How do you speak and who you are speaking to. Like it just clicked for me after studying for a while. It clicked for me like maybe 3 years ago, like maybe 2 years explore after 2 or 3 years exploring in depth, like this niche thing. it occurred to me that it's like, okay, I had to do a lot of surrendering because I did not want to niche for healers because there was a part of me, there was a limiting belief in me that was like, oh my God, but healers know everything. Like healers know everything. Like they've got this, right? So who am I to help them? Like there are healers who are amazing. Who am I to help them? It was humbling and it was, surrendering and was a lot of trust to explore that. And I really, really made sense and I loved then working with healers and coaches and health
Right.
practitioners, chiropractors, physiotherapists. Like you know, I've worked like I think yeah, I think anything in that industry, like the well-being industry, yeah, I have worked with many different people, relationship
Soulpreneurs is the perfect word.
writing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it is creative and it was yeah, it it was and what the second hit that made it different, you know what it was okay, I was exploring niche, I was like healers, but it's still like, okay, I was working with visibility, how you get confident and being visible, because there was a big fear. I could not go live. The first time I went live
Oh, interesting.
on Facebook. Yes. Now you see I can, I
Yeah,
dance, you
you
see me
do.
on live. Oh, I'm
Yes.
never gonna look like I was actually being shy since a child. I was shy. But I think, yeah, just going going live was, oh my God, so much fear, and it was so much perfectionism
Mhm.
that I had to let go of and just show up. When I did my first live, it was I did in Portuguese for my Brazilian community here in
Mm.
Australia. I was doing it was a visibility challenge someone was offering, a marketing person. Like I'm forever grateful to her. She's German as well.
Right.
And yeah, so it was very short, simplified visibility challenge, but I accepted the challenge of letting go of perfectionism and showing up. So I went live in this Brazilian community, and when I saw there was like 1,000 views on my live, and in moments before I went live, I was just shaking so much.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna do this. No, I'm not gonna do this. But you said that it's going to do it, but no, I'm gonna wanna do this. And it was really hard, but it was a breakthrough.
Absolutely. I love how you bring this up actually, because when we talk about Insight Timer, there's the possibility for teachers, coaches to go live as well, right?
Yeah,
So it's so important for us all, especially us who are in the spiritual closet or who just don't want to be visible, to overcome this
exactly.
visibility block. Can I just ask you, was it just like I decide no, I go live and I do it even though I'm shaking? Or did you do something like a mindset work before or some kinesiology or something to shift that? Or was it just, yeah, I go and do it now?
Yeah, great question, knowing that this is a challenge for a lot of
Hmm.
healers, right? So if I look back and I see what made a difference was having the right support. So I have this woman who encouraged me on that
Yes.
visibility challenge, but I also was working and did a couple of sessions with she used to be like a marketing person, a business person. So I received her support. So support
Amazing.
it makes a whole difference because it encourages us out of our comfort zone. If we always only doing things by ourselves in our business, we have a tendency of not challenging ourselves enough.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. Totally agree. And this is spot on. Same for me. Like I had so many coaches on different themes and healers, and you just need the support system around you to grow in your business and
Yeah.
to keep growing in your business because it's like endless, right?
Yeah. It's basically that. And the big decision within me, like I really want to do this, right?
Yeah.
I really want to do this. And after, you know, that passed, I think the second, that's when we heading towards Insight Timer, right? How this came about
Hmm.
was that was me exploring and sitting with myself and questioning if was a better way to share my work, right? I was sharing like visibility, embodiment. I love the embodiment stuff.
Hmm.
That's what, the inquiry, like the nervous system, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It has always been the inquiry at the very beginning, like what is in between the physical and the energetic. It's totally, now I know that's the nervous system, and everything, that the nuances and the mm, like that system, like it's very intelligent system,
So
and it now everyone talks about nervous system and trauma, and that was my inquiry, right? But my inquiry was like, how can I best serve? And then that's when my multi-passionate nature started to come to light, right? Like, okay, because for me, my IT career, it was out of equation, fully completely. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But when I sat back and I surrendered to, like, okay, is there anything that I can do with that part of my career? It was such a skill. I was such a great a great, say, well, programmer or project manager. Like,
mhm.
I was great at what I did. It was such a shame to not utilize that. So
Mm.
that's when I started using that to create my own courses. Right. I think that helped. A little bit of tech, a little bit of like thinking stra- strategically and in a structure, right? So I'm able then to be intuitive and think structure. And I can help healers because healers have the sense that they know so much in their minds, and it's so organic, and how to pull this down into a structure, like into a program. How do we structure this? How do we structure the message and that kind of stuff? That's when the Insight Timer course was born. Was not my very first program. I
So
had
good.
other programs before that.
Getting excited about the Inside Timer course. So before
Yeah,
we get into that, can you just share for those who never heard about Inside Timer? Like what
sure.
happens on Inside Timer? What kind of platform is that?
Yeah, I discovered Insight Timer as a user, and yeah, had a few people I followed there. So it's a meditation well-being app where most of the things are for free. So you can listen to meditations from people from around the world. And you also, as a from the user perspective, you can, yeah, people show up live, sharing a meditation, sharing some sort of knowledge that's their soul work.
Mhm.
And you get to, listen, participate, be with other people. Like this morning, I was listening to a woman. I think she's American. Lots of American people in on Inside Timer, both teachers and users. And this woman, she's got 40,000 followers on Inside Timer, and she went live just sharing about like International Women's Day,
Oh, I see.
and there was like over 1,000 people with her in the room.
Wow. That's a lot.
So this is what really made me compare it with other other platforms,
Hmm.
right? Such as FB, IG,
Hmm. Totally.
right? where things are so like in the moment. First, like those other platforms, they are not discoverable, right? Like if you say, okay, this woman had 1,000 people in there, like never. Like I think the maximum I got at that point of people live with me in that moment on Facebook was under 20, like
Mm.
maybe 20 something max. And it gets harder and harder because Facebook is not send like algorithm. To have a good algorithm, basically you
So
have to
true.
pay, right?
Yes, yes.
So the reach started getting less and less and less. Reaching for you to reach people, you really need to be active on social media, really active, and that demands time. That's when healers get disheartened because I'm here sharing my message, but nobody's commenting, nobody is really listening. Oh, I don't have the energy, I give up, right? I think Insight Timer being this opportunity for healers
Mm.
to share their work, to share their light in whatever way that suits them. If it's writing, you can have a community there where you engage
Oh,
with people through writing.
I had no
Maybe that
idea.
like you did not know that you can
I'm a
create a group.
writer and I didn't know this.
You can create a group. If you are a speaker, you can go live. If you or record meditations, right? The good thing about meditation is like it's there forever. Like 10 years from now, people are gonna still be listening to your meditation. We still be sending you lovely messages of like, oh, this changed my day today. Like this
Mhm.
happened this week. Like a woman, she's a Brazilian
Mhm.
living in America, San
Mhm.
Jose. And she listened to my meditation on Insight Timer and she found me on LinkedIn. Somehow she found me on LinkedIn and she sent me
Amazing.
a message, a private message saying, oh, oh, the meditation this morning is exactly what I needed to hear.
Right.
And like, this is so special.
It is special. Can I just ask, because I have been barely on it, so if you want to be a teacher on there or even just have a group or anything, like what are the requirements to get started?
Okay, cool. So you, if that is actually easier, Insight Timer is making it easier for you, for the healers to make passive income and to become teachers
Mm-hmm.
and be able to use all those features that I just shared. These are the main ones. You go
Mm-hmm.
live, you can create a group, and you have the recorded audio library. You can also create courses. These are the main features. Yeah.
Right. And if somebody goes live, does it show to everyone who's on Insight Timer? They can hop on it, or do you have to have your group and go live there? How does it work?
Oh, no, you do not need to. It would be much easier to show this, right? But like in a nutshell, you do not pay anything to become a teacher on Insight Timer, right?
Right.
Uh, it's just a series of steps that you need to take. It's probably not as simple as creating a profile on Facebook or
Mm.
Instagram, but is is yeah, creating your bio and
Mm-mm.
having a photo, knowing like what sort of microphone to use. Like a simple setup is not even too expensive or
Mhm.
you know demanding. I started actually recording with my iPhone,
Mm.
not recommended, but they are getting more and more like concerned with quality, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I created this course on Insight Timer just to teach people how to record, what sort of microphone to use,
Wow.
and give those guidelines on how to create this
As you
profile.
mentioned your course, by the way, I want all the listeners, people on YouTube, to check the description below, because I'm going to link her course. And I don't know if it's evergreen or if it's live. I think maybe both, even that you offer it as evergreen and live, right?
Yeah, there's opportunities for both. Yes.
So I will put the link so everybody go learn how to do it properly with Camilla's experience. I think you will move faster. So yeah, just a little
Yeah.
message
Yes,
here, but
totally. Yeah. I really, really love and enjoy, yeah, what people are creating, on Inside Timer. Like every time when I see like, oh yes, people are having these opportunities that I didn't even force, I hadn't foreseen, like people
mm,
being invited to create a course or people being invited to, right? Because they are watching you, and if they see you a good fit for a project that they have, they will contact you
so
and
good.
they will feature you because you're offering that something that is unique.
Wow.
So I always encourage in my courses like healers to, yeah, to find their voice, of course, but more than that is like how to present, how to position. Because yeah, you can create a bunch of meditations, but they don't offer like a journey for somebody. Like what's the journey you inviting someone to come with you on, right? So
Beautiful.
this is this is the part of the insight timer part that I help with, is helping healers to know how to position and come up with ideas, know how to title their meditations, because so they can be searchable, like
Mhm.
making increasing the chances of success, basically, and making it
Oh.
faster, of course.
And for
Because
meditations, is it like, do people do background music on it and make it really professional, or can it just be like an audio without any music?
can be both. So you
Hmm.
do not need to have background music. It can be just your voice. It's just preference.
Yes.
Some people on the receiving end, and you can say what you prefer. I like to have music,
Me too.
although it needs to be the right music. I
Yeah.
think it is soothing. But some people prefer just the pure voice, something how they process sounds, and and yeah, they do not actually like music as a background. So I'm always encouraging, like, and whoever is listening here is to look at who your audience is, and it might be that your audience is extremely auditory, like you work with musicians, right? Like means that yes, sound needs to be close to perfect, right? Because people like that are very sensitive in the ears. But another example was one of my students. She worked with people who she herself had experience with PTSD,
Mhm.
and she had some sort of sensitivities to certain sounds. So this is something that she cares about when she talks to her audience, because she talks with people who have been through trauma, and it's something that affects how they
Right.
listen, right? So
Interesting. Yes.
that these are things that we get in more depth, like to really feel confident in how to how to show up, like go
Oh,
live, and what am I going to talk about. But yes, going live, you can go live as many times as you want, few times a
mm,
day. You just need to schedule at least 48 hours before.
right.
So you schedule, and that your time is there. Inside Timer sends to other people. So there's always, always, always new people that you get
Mm,
to reach.
mhm.
Every event I run, I think, yeah, because of my amount of followers, which is now close to 5,000 or
Oh,
something. But
wow.
it has nothing to do with that though, because sometimes you have lower followers, and I've seen people still signing up clients
Mm,
with even like 500 followers or even less than that.
mhm.
Is still Because if you have a live that's very it hits the mark, Insight Timer decides to feature you, like what happened to one of our students, Aisha. Maybe you know Aisha. So she decided to go live. Her first live, I think she didn't have 1,000 followers yet. She had a couple hundred. And her live, she had close to 400 people RSVP saying, I'm coming, so
Wow.
interested, because it was a hot topic.
What was the topic, if I may ask? I'm always curious.
That one was around boundaries.
Oh,
Pretty
good.
sure it was around
Good
boundaries.
one.
Yeah. And she was a little bit freaking out because I was not expecting that turnout. But yeah, it's really, every time I go live, there is like average 100 people.
Wow, that's
Some
massive.
people I met before. It is. You never get all, other platforms, really. If you're a healer and if you have this deep message to share, that's why I say, and you know, I'll keep saying that that's the place to be. I'm not saying get out of the other platforms, although it works for some people. Some people make a conscious decision. I do not want to be in this, in that platform because it makes me overwhelmed.
Mhm.
I'm gonna turn just to Insight Timer, and this works for them too because they start getting clients. It's
Amazing. So
energetic, like yeah.
yes, you get clients. Can we dive also into the passive income? Because I know you mentioned on one of your posts, I don't know if somebody made $1,000 or something was paid out in a month. How does that work? Like, how does passive income come into this?
Yeah, it's through courses
Mhm.
mostly. Of course, you can get donations, you can be paid passive income through the meditation that you share.
Mm.
But what gives you the biggest payout are courses, audio
Right.
courses. They do not yet have video courses, but
Mhm.
they are studying the possibility of bringing video courses. Would be amazing. I'm waiting for that.
So true.
But
So
at
you
the
set the
moment,
price for an audio course, or when they have to pay
it's
that price, or it's like
it's
donation
one.
based?
Yeah, it is one price. So they have a specific way to pay, which I'm just not gonna go into much
Hmm.
detail here. I have an
Of
ebook
course.
as well that people can access through the link that gives an idea on how Insight Timer pays. But basically, it's measured by the amount of users who
Mm-hmm.
pay the annual subscription
Mm-hmm.
divided pro rata to each teacher, depending on how many views you get, how many people attend your course and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's divided. So means if your course is something a lot of people sign up to and is super engaging and is a success, like yes, had the students who, yes, in the first month of their course made $1,000.
That's
That's when
huge.
you launch your course, and this not only one person, so it's a little bit like, don't want to say guarantee, but it's highly, if you really title your course well and you have like this clear message and your course is of quality, greater chances of having that kind of result. So yes, it's, I don't know if you have any questions around
No,
that specifically.
I just think it sounds like such an amazing platform that more people need to be aware of, because I mean, you're like the forerunner here. I only know you talking about this basically in my whole community on Facebook. So I'm just excited to share this out into the world and encourage spiritual business owners, coaches, healers to hop on it and to experience it, but also to check in with your ebook or your course, and then, get the help they need to really, as you said, it's a journey that you have to take the customer on, and just popping up sometimes on Insight Timer and giving some random meditations won't help. So I love how you provide this for the clients, the students, that they know how to set themselves up, how to create their journey, get the tech sorted, all the questions they might have that you can help them with. I think you covered pretty much all my questions. One I had though, because I'm huge with podcasts right now. With this podcast, I so enjoy doing my podcasts. I was wondering if people also use the episodes they record and they upload it into Insight Timer.
Yes, definitely. Like you can repurpose.
Mm.
So it needs, yeah, to be suitable because it's not only meditations, you can have talks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend being curated. So it's kind of having that in mind, because people on Insight Timer, they want to have an experience, right? It's it's really choice of the business owner, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
solopreneur who I have had people who had presented webinars
Oh, right.
on on different like topics. Like she's like a medical intuitive, so she presented webinars on that,
Mm-hmm.
and all she did was transfer to Insight Timer.
Oh.
And she was puzzled that's like, oh, I never got so many views, like not even in other places. And it was so easy to do, and the reach it has had it. She was really amazed by that, how
Oh,
simple it was.
so good.
People have this thing, like it's too
Yeah,
complicated, it's tech, I'm gonna need to learn another platform, and I mean, that's what I'm there for, right? I've been
totally.
through the journey to guide, like, you don't need to be, throwing spaghetti against the wall. It's because, yeah, some parts can be frustrating. Like, some people have problems uploading their photo and, they can be stuck and that can
Mm-hmm.
stop them from actually getting all the benefits because they get stuck on step number 2 and they
Yeah.
never get step number 7, right?
I
I
love
think
the whole repurposing thing because I have so many webinars from the past 10 years that I've been doing and my podcast and meditations. I have so much stuff that I can repurpose.
totally,
I'm
totally.
getting high just thinking about it now. So I wanted people to encourage, like, think back in your experience as a coach, healer, whatever, what kind of material you already have, so you don't feel overwhelmed. You don't have to start like creating millions of things, but yeah, to think what you can repurpose as well and bring it into the platform, establish an audience, have patience. Every platform, of course, needs work and dedication, I assume. But yes, I totally agree that Facebook and the others, the algorithm is really getting worse and worse. And we all should start thinking about paying more attention where we put our time into, our energy into, so that we get paid back somehow, be it because people watch our lives or our meditations, we get an audience more, and possibly even the passive income, which doesn't really happen on Facebook. Right?
Mhm. Yes, totally. And you go live on Facebook, nobody watches,
Yeah,
and nobody ever can, find that, like,
exactly.
whereas Inside Timer, people there, people have the opportunity to donate. Often they donate, you're there. Imagine you just going live and people send you, sometimes it's $2, $5, $10, $20. Like it's something that adds up, but not even financially is the energy of appreciation really that,
Yes.
you know, you, you listening this is like you deserve that. Like you deserve to be paid for your work and Inside Timer was actually quite healing for me in this. So I believe that it can be healing much like very healing for you in a way that you're going to be seen and heard because you're talking to the right people. People understand you and people will see you as an authority. People will see you as a person who is there and is willing.
Mm.
So gonna be valued on Inside Timer.
And we end on the perfect note. Like the last bit you just shared just made my heart sing and get warm, and I'm all excited to explore.
Are you on
the
Inside Timer yet?
No. And I still want to be on it now. Like you really sold it well, at least to me. I hope the listeners let us know, by the way, connect with us on social media. I'm going to link Camilla's social media below in the description, also mine. So come hop on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are. Leave us a comment how you enjoyed this. And if you're going to try it, let us know. And
Yes.
Camilla, I have 0 questions. You answered everything perfectly. It was such an honor to have you on and to connect and to just have your wisdom and your experience that you shared with us today. It's so appreciated. Thank you so, so much.
Amazing. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I'll have to have you on at some later stage again, because there's so much we can explore here and you have so much wisdom to share. So I know this is not over yet. So you will be on here more. And thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have listened until now, leave us a review on the podcast. We always love that. And goodbye for now.